In this video we're going to look at Bitcoin because yes, we finally broke the $50,000 level, but now the question is, are we going to get this retracement or even this continuation even higher all the way up to the $60,000 level? Because yes guys, I was extremely bullish exactly here where everybody was extremely bearish, and I told you that we're most probably going to break out towards the upside because it was too obvious after this massive dump from the ETF approval exactly here and this reaccumulation from Grayscale and all the ETFs that we're going to see this massive dump after we see the approval of the Bitcoin ETF, and exactly that happened. All of these shorts have been liquidated. But guys, if you've been watching my channel from the beginning, exactly here when I started my YouTube channel, exactly at the bottom of Bitcoin guys, and you would have dollar cost average into Bitcoin, guys, you would have been up to 200% in profit only investing into Bitcoin. But guys, we're also going to look at the altcoins to find out what we could expect, because yes, I told you to buy Solana exactly at the levels of $16, and at the moment we're trading at 113, so this is a major pump of up to 700%. So if you don't want to miss the last chance and the last chance to get into Bitcoin and into the altcoins, watch the video until the end, smash up the like button and subscribe. And now let's directly start with today's content, because yes guys, we're going to find out, is this your last chance to buy Bitcoin exactly in these levels? Before we're going to look at the charts and all the analysis, we're going to go over to an interview of Michael Saylor explaining why we're seeing this massive demand at the moment.
Your outlook for Bitcoin, and then we'll jump into earnings.
Well, I think a lot of this is just indicative of the popularity of Bitcoin as an asset class. It's now the world's most popular investment asset. It's novel, it's digital, it's global, it's unique, and it's uncorrelated to traditional risk assets because it doesn't come with exposure to any given country, currency, company, quarterly result, product cycle, competitor, not to weather, not to war, not to an employee base or supply chain. And so that makes it a natural addition to the portfolio of a responsible investor. There's 10 years of pent-up demand. People have been waiting for these ETFs, and finally mainstream investors are able to access Bitcoin. And I think that's what's driving the surge of capital in the asset class. And initially there was a rebalancing as people were moving capital between the futures market and the miners and MicroStrategy and the ETFs. But following that rebalancing, I think the assets found its footing, and now people are beginning to realize that there's 10 times as much demand for Bitcoin coming in through these ETFs as there is supply coming from the natural sellers who are the miners.
So we can see the volume and the demand has increased by 10 times. And we can see that the supply is going to be cut in half in exactly 63 days, where we're going to see the Bitcoin halving, and all the supply that is getting into the markets are actually going to reduce by half. So we could expect this major push towards the upside. And yes guys, this message from Michael Saylor was very important to take in consideration. We had this shift exactly here, and all this reshifting of the ETF and Grayscale caused the price to come all the way back down. And that is exactly what I told you, that this is just a major manipulation from all these major institutions, that we're going to see that the price comes all the way back down, and they're just going to accumulate exactly here, because yes, we're going to see the Bitcoin halving exactly here in April, so we could expect this massive parabolic run towards the upside. And yes, that is also exactly what I've been telling you, that we're most probably going to see this accumulation phase within this range form a higher high and come all the way back down to reaccumulate exactly here. And a lot of people would think yes, we're going to dump even lower, but ultimately I could expect that the price movement of Bitcoin is going to consolidate within this range. But before we're going to go on the lower time frames and to find out are we going to get this retracement, guys, if you want to trade all of these moves, go down in the video description below and sign up to these exchanges where you receive a major deposit bonus. And guys, you can also sign up to Maxi where you don't need any KYC, so make use of this free money guys and sign up to these exchanges exactly now. Because ultimately this could be your last chance to get into these low levels, because we could expect this major pump towards the upside all the way to the $60,000, which would be exactly here. Because yes, if we're going to turn on the VPVR, the volume price range, we can see that we broke this major volume towards the upside exactly here, round about the levels of $43,000, where we got this major rejections exactly here. And yes, this was the last volume cluster exactly here, and exactly on these levels we can see that all the way up to the $60,000 we're getting the next major volume area. And in between these levels guys, we could expect that we're going to see a fast move towards the upside all the way to this major resistance. But ultimately, if we're going to come all the way up to the 60,000 US dollars, all the way to the previous high, we could expect a major retracement, guys. Maybe all the way back to this major resistance that we've been forming exactly here at the 48,000 US dollars, because it's obvious we're not going to break the all-time high with one major candle. No, we're going to see a major sell-off or even an accumulation phase exactly within the zone. But ultimately, this next move towards the upside could come extremely quick, as we can see on the volume price range exactly here. Because yes, we're at this major resistance zone, but guys, ultimately we could expect that the price movement is going to see a fast move towards the upside. But let's go on the lower time frames to find out what we could expect in the immediate short term. On the daily chart, we can see that we broke these major trend lines towards the downside, and this was our main indication, if we're going to break these trend lines towards the upside, that we could expect at least this major pump all the way back to the top of this range of this major resistance box. And guys, look at this major significance, how we exactly got resistance at this major resistance box that we've been drawing in for quite a while, which comes from this major rejection exactly here. So ultimately, on the daily chart, we can see that maybe we're going to come all the way back down to retest this major important zone where we got previous resistance, and also here. So ultimately, we could expect this retracement, but we're going to draw the Fibonacci retracement level all the way from the swing low all the way to the swing high, and then we can see exactly here we have the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level. So we could expect that yes, we're going to come all the way back down to turn this resistance into support exactly here. But ultimately, guys, if we're going to break this level, we could even come all the way back down to the 38.2, which is also major resistance exactly here. But what is going to be extremely important for a further move towards the upside, that Bitcoin is going to hold this trend lines and also the 38.2. But ultimately, guys, we need to go on the even lower time frames to find out what is going to happen in the immediate short term. Are we going to get a bounce even higher, maybe even to the 52,000 US dollars? And for that, we're going to go on the 4-hour chart. And on the 4-hour chart, we can exactly see the 50,000 US dollars is at the moment some massive resistance. But ultimately, we can also see that Bitcoin came all the way back down, formed this low, and all the way up we're forming higher lows. So we could expect this breakout from this major resistance zone. But we need to find out what are going to be the Fibonacci retracement levels. And first of all, we can see that the 13 moving average is exactly here. So we're going to take the Fibonacci retracement level, first of all, from the previous low exactly here, all the way to the swing high, and then we perfectly see that Bitcoin came all the way back down into the 61.8 and also 50% level, which is also our golden ratio, and then we saw this continuation even higher. So now we need to take the Fibonacci retracement level all the way from the previous low exactly here, and this continuation towards the upside, and then we perfectly can see that the price came all the way back down to the 38.2, and we perfectly bounced exactly here. And we saw this perfect reversal coming all the way back up to the major resistance, and exactly here we saw that the price movement attempted to break out towards the upside, and at the moment we're getting this retracement and this resistance exactly at the 50,000. So first of all, we could expect that yes, we could hold the 23.6, see a perfect bounce and a continuation towards the upside, but we could also come all the way back down to the 61.8, the golden ratio, exactly like we saw exactly in these levels, where the price movement saw this consolidation, formed this low, and then we saw this major pump towards the upside, consolidation, came all the way back down to the 61.8, so this major pump, and now we're seeing this consolidation. But ultimately, guys, we could even expect that Bitcoin is going to come all the way back down to the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level on the daily chart, which is exactly here. But ultimately, this would still be extremely bullish, because yes, we saw this major pump towards the upside, and first of all, we need to see that Bitcoin turns previous resistance into support and with this consolidation. But don't be surprised if we're going to see this fast move all the way up to the 60,000 US dollar level, which is going to be our next major resistance zone. But now the question is it too late to get into Bitcoin exactly now? And for that, we're going to go over to the Bitcoin Rainbow Price Indicator, which gives us the indication, are we at a maximum bubble territory? Are you in a sell-off situation? Are we seeing major FOMO? Should you hold? Is Bitcoin still cheap? Are we in an accumulation phase, or should you buy? Or are we at a major discount, which we were exactly here at the bottom, where Bitcoin reached this ultimate price target and formed this bottom exactly here, where I told you to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. This was the cheapest you would ever get Bitcoin again. But guys, ultimately we can see that Bitcoin is still within this green box, the second indicator, the second box, which is in the buy zone. So ultimately guys, we're still in the buy zone and you're not too late to buy Bitcoin exactly now. So go down in the video description below and sign up to these exchanges where you receive a major deposit bonus. Pause the video and sign up exactly now. This is going to be your first step into financial freedom. And if you want to earn passive income, guys, make sure to watch this tutorial on the Forex copy trading comeback. But ultimately guys, you're still early and we could expect this major pump towards the upside, because yes, all the way to the sell zone exactly here where I would sell my Bitcoin holdings round about the levels of 250,000 US dollars. Guys, this is going to be a major push towards the upside. So ultimately this could be your last chance to dollar cost average into Bitcoin to get Bitcoin underneath 50,000 US dollars. But ultimately guys, we could expect a major push for the altcoins, because if we go over to the total 3 market cap on the weekly chart, guys, this looks like a major breakout from this massive W formation that we've been forming. And yes, Bitcoin saw this major push towards the upside, but the altcoins are still lagging behind. So ultimately we could expect a major pump for the altcoins if the total 3 market cap is going to see this major push towards the upside. So we're going to look at Solana, because yes, I told you to buy Solana exactly within this levels of 80 US dollars, where the price movement came all the way back down exactly here. This was a great opportunity to dollar cost average into Solana, and afterwards we saw this massive pump towards the upside. But ultimately we can see that we are still within this massive consolidation phase and we could expect this next major leg towards the upside. So ultimately guys, if we go on the weekly chart of Solana and we're going to zoom out, you're still early, because yes, we're going to see this major move towards the upside all the way to the previous high. This would still be a pump of 140%. But let's go over to the next coin, which is Link. Because yes, we are at this major resistance level at the moment and we could expect this major move all the way to the 61.8 and this previous resistance zone from the previous bull market. Because yes, Bitcoin had this major move towards the upside, but as for Link and some of the major altcoins, we're still lagging behind and we could expect this fast move towards the upside and the start of this major altcoin season with a pump of 70% for Link. Because on the daily chart for Link, I told you exactly here that we're forming this flag and we could expect this breakout towards the upside, and exactly that happened. We saw this consolidation above the 23.6 exactly here, and we saw this perfect bullish breakout, and at the moment we're in this major resistance. So ultimately we need to take the Fibonacci retracement level from the previous low exactly here all the way up to the previous high exactly here. And now we can see that at the moment the price movement came all the way back down to the 38.2. We saw this bounce, but ultimately we could even expect this continuation all the way back down to the golden ratio exactly here before we're going to get this next major push towards the upside and the break of this major resistance zone. And yes guys, we're going to go over to PITH, because yes, I told you exactly here where the price movement was at the previous local highs exactly here and also here that we could expect this break of this major neckline with a price target of yes 100% towards the upside all the way to the $1 mark. But guys, we can see that the price movement broke out exactly as expected, and if we're going to see this breakout from the total 3 market cap, we could expect that these altcoins are going to see a major leg towards the upside. So yes guys, use this opportunity, because this is going to be the last chance to dollar cost average into Bitcoin and all of these altcoins at these major discount prices. Yes, we saw a major push towards the upside for the overall crypto market, but this is only going to be the beginning. And if you always want to stay up to date, guys, make sure to smash up the like button and subscribe and activate the bell so that you always stay up to date, and make sure to be for crypto, and we see each other in the next video.